question. Have you ever been jamming with a buddy and you're playing a G major like this and they're playing one like that? And you're like, uh-oh, what's wrong? We're playing a different chord. Or maybe you looked up a song and when you looked up that G major chord, it gave you this answer. And you've been learning this one. Or vice versa. Well, the answer to that is it doesn't actually matter. The two types of G major are this one and this one. And they are actually the same chord, but what it's called is a different voicing. They're different voicings. They're the same three notes, but they sound a little bit different. And so the three notes are G, B, and D. You could play piano, you could play, I don't know, a banjo, a guitar. It doesn't matter. If you're playing a G, B, and a D, you are playing a G major. Okay? Why? Because of the major scale. I'm not going to get too intense into the major scale and all of that, but I'll just tell you what it is now, and I'll put it on the screen. It's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. So that right there is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, as you've probably learned in grade school. You probably don't even know why you learned it, and it's because it is the foundation of everything. All the songs, all the chords in the songs. In this case in particular, G major. If you look at that G major scale, it's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. The G is 1, G, A, B, B is 3, G, A, B, C, D. The D is actually a 5. If I combine those three notes, G, B, and D, that's actually a G major. I literally just played yet another type of G major. And that's why you can actually play G major all over this guitar. There's actually a ton of ways to play G major. There's really main two ways that we're going to talk about today, the open G major, so don't panic, okay? And so this is why, and I recommend you grab maybe a little tuner and put it on the end of your guitar so you can actually see these notes. And play these notes just with this particular shape where I'm playing my middle finger on the 3rd fret E string, my first finger is on the 2nd fret A string, my 3rd finger is over here on the B string 3rd fret, and my 4th finger, my pinky, is in the high E string 3rd fret. That is the first one that I ever learned personally, and it goes like this. G, B, D, G, D, G. So as long as I have those three notes, G, B, D, and in any order really, I have a G major chord. And you saw that. It was G, B, D, G, D, G. Now, if I play the other voicing, which is, I've found as a guitar teacher, a lot of students start with this one if they haven't started with me. And I think it's just because it's probably more old school or more common when you do a Google search. And that is like this. I'm putting my middle finger here on the 3rd fret of the E string. My first finger, index finger, is on the A string, 2nd fret. And I've got my 3rd, or you can put your 4th finger on the high E string, 3rd fret. So I've only changed this one note here on the B string. I left it open. Everything else is the same. It's G, B, D, G, B, G. So the only thing that really changed was this B string note. It was a B, and then it was a D. And from D, it could have been a B. And it actually doesn't matter, because as long as I'm playing the three notes, G, B, D, I'm good to go. So they're both correct. So you may be asking, well, okay, that was a waste of time. Now that I know that, why don't I just keep doing what I'm doing and call it a day? Well, I'd like you to think about maybe learning the other one, and having the ability to play all of the types of G is actually going to be very beneficial to your playing. You don't have to, but I'm going to go ahead and show you why the juice is worth the squeeze. So check this out. I might be playing this G if I'm playing something like Good Riddance or perhaps Wonderwall, and that's because there's a lot of chords that have me playing that D right there, that note, that 3rd fret B string. A C add 9, pretty common chord on the guitar, right there. If I'm playing a D, a lot of D major, E minor 7, C add 9s, all those types of chords. If I'm playing that, I typically will simply go for this G major. What that does is it makes the transitions easier. By the way, I've got a nice little lesson on a super easy song called Good Riddance, or Time of Your Life by Green Day. It uses these exact chords, okay? And it's because this finger stays put or is anchored, I'm able to have a much easier time making those transitions. It's one of my biggest secrets as a professional guitar teacher. How I can get my beginners playing songs a lot faster than most other teachers could is because of this little trick. The other benefit of that is this note right here. Whenever I'm playing it, sounds pretty cool, right? And I can kind of mix those chords up in any order. And why that sounds good is, well, for one, it's all in the same key, but also that note is staying constant throughout, and so that is called a pedal tone. A pedal tone is basically the same note being played through a piece of music, or sometimes the entire piece of music. Just depends on the song. And that really helps to kind of glue things and anchor them all together, if you will, in the listener's ear. Listeners love pedal tones. So make sure you're using this particular G if you've got a lot of chords that are using that note. Okay, now if I'm playing something maybe a little bit more country, I might play this one. I kind of like this one for country, or maybe something more like finger style. I tend to go for this one myself, but there's really no rules. I don't have to do that one. I could still just do this one and call it a day. In general, you can probably hear the difference. This G right here with my open B string, it's a little warmer, it's a little darker. This one here is just a little bit brighter. That doesn't mean it's better, it just means it's brighter. And so take your pick. Do you like the warm, dark one? Kind of more open strings involved? Or do you like the brighter one? I kind of like them both, and it really depends on the song, depends on the piece for me. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you a cool little bonus tip. And this is going to really help you a lot if you want to sound like one of those fancier, more intermediate to advanced level guitar players. So this G major right here, there's actually two types of, ways to approach that by way of the fingers, how you would fret that. So this is cool and a great way to start. It's easy. But I would encourage you to stay with me on this one. Put your third finger on the low E string 3rd fret. Put your second finger on the A string 2nd fret, and your pinky, your 4th finger, on the high E string 3rd fret. So it's that same voicing I was just doing, right? But I've just rearranged and I'm using different fingers. Why? Well, for the same reason Hendrix became so amazing and was such a great, groundbreaking guitar player. Because he would do a lot of things like this, but in different ways. And that leaves one appendage to go and goof off and play leads while I play rhythm. Let me give you a quick example, and I'll break it down. And so that right there is some fancy noodling while I'm kind of playing. What I'm doing is I'm essentially playing the G major scale, but as I play a G major. Because I had these kind of anchored in place, it almost sounds like I'm playing a little bit of lead and a little bit of rhythm. And so that's typically what you'll hear a lot of players do. If they want to play lead on a G major, they'll do this one. It does take a minute to get used to, but it's really awesome because you could hear all the moves. So one move that is most common is taking your first finger and putting it on the note of C. That's the 1st fret B string. That's my 4 in the key of G. You see it? Now, I'm not going to go into what that means, but that makes it kind of a different chord, or it gives it a different value, a different quality. Right? Kind of sounds a little bit pretty. And I can kind of go back and forth. If you listen to Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones, you'll hear them open up pretty much this way. Gives it a little extra something. And of course I can take my middle finger and noodle around here on the 2nd fret of the D and the 2nd fret of the G. Those are all notes within the key of G. And so they're going to sound great kind of on top of a G major chord. Feel free to play around with that a little bit. Enjoy the voicing, the differences of the voicings, and just get used to maybe doing all 3, I would say. You don't have to. It's definitely a lot more work than you really need to do, but to have those options is nice. As a musician, as a songwriter, as someone who maybe be jamming with somebody, and if I see them playing that voicing, I will likely not do that same voicing on purpose because I want to create some diversity and some kind of color. You'll get better color and better, I guess, quality overall, I believe, if you play different voicings than, say, the other guitar player. So because I know these three, I'm able to kind of make choices already. Not to mention I can play all the other, there's a ton of ways to play G major, and so that yet again gives me more opportunities to create better sound, better quality, and better color to contribute to the song, which is ultimately should be your goal as a musician. Alright, and that's the 2 types of open G major. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you get a brand new lesson every single week, and you can just take advantage of that. And also, comment below. Let me know if you'd like to learn something. I'm here for you. I want to teach you guys anything you want to learn. I love what I do, and I'm lucky to get to do this full time. Alright, see you in the next one.